Hi, I'm Carlee, and today I have the honor of speaking with Dania Ramos, creator and writer of the podcast Timestorm, a middle grade audio fiction series on Trax. Miss Ramos is the author of the middle grade mystery novels Who's Who and Ignacio in the Dark, as well as many stage plays. Dania is a drama and creative writing teaching artist for the New Jersey Performing Arts Center. Welcome, Miss Ramos.
Hi, Carlee. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you. So you've been writing stories for middle grade students for some time now. What drew you to this particular audience?
Yeah, so I've actually been a teaching artist for about 17 years. So I do teach a wide range of age groups, but this is actually my favorite age group to teach, the middle grade. And it's the age group I teach most often. So I found that I was naturally telling stories about characters that were in this age group. And I think it's a fascinating time period, as you know. It's a time where you are realizing who you are. You're exploring your own identity and saying, this is what I believe in. This is what I value. And I think it's a really fascinating time to be able to explore storytelling in.
Yes, I think that teaching middle graders, that would be probably the most fun out of all of them.
Yeah, it is pretty fun, absolutely.
So what was your inspiration for creating Timestorm?
So what's interesting about Timestorm is that I had actually come up with the general idea of this time traveling storyline for a proposal for a stage play contest that I had submitted to. And it was supposed to be about New Jersey history. So in the original version, the twins were traveling in time to find out about New Jersey history. Now I didn't win the contest. I was a finalist, but I didn't get it. And I put the play away for a little bit. And then I was taking a class a little bit later and I brought the idea up and I realized, well, now I don't have to make it specifically about New Jersey history. I can make it about the twins' actual own history. And we took it from there, and I'm really happy that I was able to make it really specific to the characters who were going on the journey.
Yeah, I'm glad you decided to bring it back up again because I loved listening to it. It was really interesting.
Oh, well, thank you, Carlee.
So in Timestorm, Benny and Alexa travel to many different places and time periods. How did you decide which places and time periods to include?
So that's a great question. So I should say now, I make Timestorm with Michael Aquino. He is an integral part of the process. He's the person who does all the audio engineering and the sound design. And when we were developing the piece, we both got together and we read as much as we could about different events and historical figures from Puerto Rico. And so we had a huge, long list. And then we kind of looked at it and we had a few things in mind when we narrowed it down. One was theme. A couple themes that were very important for us that show up are community, identity, and education. So we kind of were like, well, whose stories in actual stories can we choose to make sure that we're hitting those themes? And as you know from listening, it's very important that the twins have to find an artifact. So we needed to make sure that there was a way to select an artifact that we could incorporate into the storyline. So that was another important factor, figuring that out as well.
Yes, I loved learning about Puerto Rico and the aspect with that they had to get an artifact. That was really entertaining. I loved that idea.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
The main characters, Benny and Alexa, are twins with different personalities. Tell us more about where they came from and whether or not they were inspired by real people.
So they themselves are not inspired on actual people, although I would say that I think with any character that I create, there's always going to be aspects that you pull from people you know, or even myself. So there are those, nuggets of truth, or you take an aspect and you kind of create something out of it based on what the story needs it to be. But specifically for Alexa and Benny, what was really important was that when they went back in time, that the way they perceived what the world was different. So we have logical and skeptical Alexa, and then we have Benny, who's more like adventurous and curious. And so putting them into these situations, I wanted the audience and the listener to be really intrigued on how the two, I'm losing my headphone today, how the two approach the different quests that they're going on. So that was really important for me. And sometimes that creates conflict and tension in the storyline. And then sometimes their skill sets are exactly what they need to combine in order to solve the problem.
Yes, I loved watching them work through situations since they both had they brought different specialties, which
Yes.
I really liked.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm glad you saw that, because that's exactly what I was going for.
What kinds of obstacles or challenges did you have while creating this podcast?
So when when Michael and I first started creating this back in 2019, we were not in a pandemic. And so how we were approaching the production was very different than what it looks like now. So back then we were all physically getting together. We have a home studio. The actors would come into the studio. It was very much like a family when we would get together. Sometimes we'd have a meal after recording session. And when the pandemic hit, everybody in the world, of course, is dealing with these changes. And we realized that we wanted to continue production, but that meant figuring out how to record remotely. And so Michael and I needed to figure out new skill sets. And we were also asking our actors to learn something new too. Some of them needed to figure out how to record themselves and things like that. So it was just really gaining the skill set onto how to still create the show in this new COVID world.
Yeah, even though there was the challenge of COVID in the way, it was very well done. I still loved it.
Thank you. Thank you.
So tell us a bit about how you cast the voice talent for the show and what specific things you were looking for with that talent.
Yeah, so initially when we had our initial casting of the main characters, Michael and I have a lot of actor friends who we were able to say like, hey, we're starting this project. Would you want to join us? And so that's how we did a lot of the initial casting. Later on in the process when we were doing auditions, typically what would happen is if there was an actor we wanted to audition for a role, we would send them a character description and something called sides or a few lines from the script. They would record that audio and send it back to us. And then we would consider, okay, is this a good fit for the character? And also, is this voice sound different enough from the other characters and actors that are going to be in a scene with this person to make sure that you could tell who's who?
Yeah. I think each voice fit perfectly with the character. And honestly, I couldn't imagine it being anybody else.
Oh, yes, we have a great cast.
Can you tell us more about the Apple Map guides that also go along with the storyline?
Yes, this is a lot of fun. So we are creating several different guides. The first one that we have available right now is the Lenape Trail Guide. And so it's actually through Apple. You can put a search in for Timestorm and up will pop this Lenape Trail Guide. This is a trail in New Jersey, Essex County. And the twins actually talk about it in episode 15. So it's a way that listeners can actually get a chance to go on some of the journeys and trails and paths that the twins go on. And we'll be soon launching, throughout season 3, we'll be launching other ones that are actually in Puerto Rico. So that's a lot of fun.
Oh, wow. I like how it's like very interactive. So it kind of like brings you more into the story.
Absolutely. And you actually get to go to those places. Lots of fun.
So can you share with us things that listeners can look forward to in the new season?
Okay. Yes. So I'll say that the season 3 is going to feel like a cross-island adventure. There's going to be a visit to some lighthouse ruins. There's going to be visits to a rainforest in Puerto Rico. And I will say that you're going to learn about Horacio's past.
Oh, that seems very interesting. Well, I know I'm excited to listen to the new season.
Oh,
So
I'm happy to hear it.
I'll definitely be binging it.
Yay! Excellent, excellent.
So thank you so much, Ms. Ramos, for talking with me today. Season 3 of Timestorm comes out April 27th, 2021 on Trax from PRX. You can listen to it on trax.fm. I'm Carlee with Kids First. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss any of our latest reviews or interviews. Bye!
Thank you, Carlee.